I just lost my virginity.
I can explain.
We set up The Break 5 years ago, a strand for new writers of 5-minute films for BBC Three. And this year, we wanted to do something with disabled talent, to build on the talent we were discovering through our disabled writers group. And also, it felt it was time to showcase talent that just hadn't been on the mainstream.
The BBC are putting disabled people at the heart of their own stories and letting them take over the narrative rather than having some able-bodied high flyer say it all for them. When I was younger, all I wanted to do was be on screen. But the problem was, I looked on screen and there was not a single person like me.
If I'm being honest, it made me quite emotional to watch it because it is so personal to me. And I really enjoyed being able to go on the journey with her of almost self-acceptance and the pride of saying, this is me, this is who I am. I'm okay with that, and so should you be.
I think The Break is an absolutely brilliant platform to give new artists the opportunity to make their faces seen, known.
I feel really lucky that I got to direct 2 episodes of The Break. I read all 5 scripts and I just thought, my gosh, these stories are so emotional, so impactful.
As a director, I think it's given me a chance to showcase something that has heart and soul, but it's really real and gritty.
Because of the style of The Break, there's quite a clear house style, but it's a really playful one. And so it's quite funny to tap into that. It's like youthful, energetic. In some ways, it's almost like riffing off kind of like YouTubers.
Move! Move!
You're seeing into their mind, you're hearing their stream of consciousness, you're seeing the world through their eyes.
Proper mental.
Each of the characters achieve monumental, life-changing moments, and that's what I think is really special about this series, is that I think we've really captured that element of a human experience. For me, working with disabled artists, it's really a question of making sure I understand what their access requirements are. And once I'm clear about that and those requirements are met, then any artist who has a disability, any disabled talent, can do what anybody else does.
Honest question. Would you rather be seen as rude or disabled? The premise of Rude is that May has been diagnosed as partially sighted and she basically just doesn't tell anyone.
And really throughout the story she has to kind of man up and have the courage to deal with what's really happening in her life.
I just loved ANNALISA's story the first time I read it. I found that it was deeply connected and emotional to most people with different conditions. This idea of being able to hide and manage versus the idea of having to actually ask for help, or how empowering it can be to say, I want to be seen as I am.
So BFF by Rob Kinsman really jumped out at us.
It's the story of a teenage woman who has ended up in a wheelchair after an accident and sort of locked herself away from her friends in the world.
And my only friend at the moment is this little character on my phone.
Losing It is a touching story about the loss of virginity and the sudden worry about whether somebody just felt sorry for you or not.
He wants to be that sort of guy who finds his proper love, you know. He struggles to the fact that his hand is very tight. So that kind of puts him off because he automatically assumes that, you know, people will pay attention to the hand rather than himself.
Read ends up being a story of a young girl, Leah, who is on the run from the cops. And you're not quite sure what's going on and why she's run back to the estate that she grew up on. And you discover that this is actually a story between her and her mate that she grew up near and the special bond that they have.
Oh, Tony is a really funny, humorous take, again, on love.
It's about a girl who wants to ask another girl to the end of year prom.
What's more pleasing for me is to see sign language being used in a very normal fashion. not being used as somebody who's got special needs or something like that. This is just another language.
I'm just happy to be deaf, right? I've got skill, I've got talent, and I prove everyone. Being deaf do not stop me doing things. I can do anything.
So if anything we can do with these films, we can show people that there is a psychology around disability that needs to shift, not only in the mindsets of people watching, but in the mindsets of people who hold those conditions.
It's so incredible that they've given not only me, like a disabled actor, also a new actor, this opportunity, but also the new directors, new writers.
It was so interesting and rewarding to work with a producer and a script editor. I've never done that before.
It's how it looks when it's been shot and cut and put together. It is like magic, really.
It's relatable to people with or without disability because we all find ourselves in vulnerable positions.
I've always had that motto of saying, see the ability, not the disability. That's always how I like to progress through life, and I'm going to carry on doing that.